What's up? This is Andre Nickatina, and I'm kicking it with my homeboy DJ Luvva J and the AHB Network, no doubt.
Yes, y'all, it's DJ Luvva J holding it down in a real way. Live from I-5 presents the Legends Edition, featuring the true, the one and only Filmo Frisco, Andre Nickatina, putting it down in a real way. So we keep it moving. Check them out at AndreNickatina.com. Check me out at LuvvaJ.com. And we keep it on bang status. Live from I-5, crowd control.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Young SASH chilling here with DJ Luvva J at the Sampan Lounge in Lacey, Washington. Just sitting here chopping up about the mixtape gang and specifically the Live from I-5 series Legend Edition with Andre Nickatina on Tina. Why don't you tell us a little bit of the story behind the creation of this CD?
Okay, well, you know, behind this CD is just a philosophy I have with mixtapes, first of all, and a lot of the philosophy has to do with having a quality product. Like, I know mixtapes just come out, you know, left and right now, but I want to, in the tradition of the older mixtapes, put together something that's memorable, something people, especially if they appreciate an artist, would like. So I've known Dre Dog, aka Andre Nickatina, since 1992, and I met him in 1997, and have become good friends with him, and also his DJ. And so I wanted to put together a mixtape that represented the first half of his career, and you know, that was the birth of the Legends Edition, because he is a legend in the Bay Area, and you know, I just composed the tracks together, and just did a little bit of research and decided what I wanted to have the CD sound like, and who I wanted to have participate on it, who drops on it. So that's how basically it got started. It was like about 2004 I started on it and finished it, you know, within a week. But
now what I noticed about it is usually I called you a couple days ago and asked you about it before I did the CD review, because usually I do CD reviews just by myself and just talk about the CD, but when I was talking to you were telling me a lot about his history, Andre Nickatina's history, but also about how on the CD it's pretty much a compilation of like a bunch of his older stuff to up until 2004, from like early 90s to 2004, so he's been doing it for a long time. And can you like elaborate a little bit more on the as far as like past to present?
Yeah,
transformation.
You know, it's a project that I was real passionate about because I admire Andre Nickatina. He's one of the most brilliant thinkers that I know. Hip hop or beyond. Think of any world, put him in it, and he'll come out with results. He's just smart. He's a good businessman. He's been that way since he was a young man, since he was a teenager. And so, you know, following his career from Dre Dog through to Andre Nickatina, you're able to, if you study him, you're able to see the transformation of him even from a young businessman to what he is in 2011, which is releasing. But up to 2004, like he had put out the new Jim Jones, I Hate You With a Passion. He put out Raven, which was his first Andre Nickatina official album. And he had like Cocaine Raps, These Are the Tales, the Daiquiri Factory, Hell's Kitchen, Conversation with the Devil. So, you know, all that, he has a rich history and legacy of hip hop, and his fan base has changed a little bit, but it's always been loyal. So putting together his album was just you know, there was so many rich tracks to choose from if you really love him, if you love his music. So it was difficult choosing what to get, but I wanted to get you know, something that was thematic. It was like a story. If you listen to the album from beginning to end, it kind of, you know, tells you the story of his career. It includes, you know, classics like Ayo for Yayo, Falcon and the Snowman, you know, Conversation with the Devil. So
The Ayo for Yayo, I actually know that song, cause I'm not too familiar with Andre Nickatina. I remember him as Dre Dog back in the day, but I never really like actually sat down and really listened to his music like that, like I do, other artists. Actually that's one of the songs I remember listening to. That's not a really old track, is it?
No, about early 2000s, like 01, 02, 03, that spanned it. It was released on a few albums, but I think it first dropped in late 01.
You can call me Dre. I party through LA. Now, baby, what you gotta say? So loud.
Now, what do you know about, because I know you know Andre Nickatina personally, you know him for a while. Can you elaborate a little more on his transformation from Dre Dog to Andre Nickatina? Because a lot of people don't understand that, Andre Nickatina went by Dre Dog before.
Right.
They think it's two different people.
Right.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on that and let us know about the man that you know?
Yeah, and I would always wonder too, like when artists change their identity and totally drop one name, like people still would call him Dre Dog today, and he wouldn't be offended. But he's definitely known more popularly as Andre Nickatina. I've heard people say Dre Dog, he knows, he respects his old name. But when he put out his first two albums, 92 and 94, it was the New Jim Jones and I Hate You With a Passion as Dre Dog. With those two songs, he's from San Francisco. He's from Fillmore. San Francisco, home of people like, Rapper Forte and San Quinn and so many other legends in hip-hop, but not only just hip-hop, but just street legends like Fillmore Slim and Pimp and other people. So he has, to grow up in that environment is diverse anyway. When he represented, it seemed on the first two Dre Dog albums, there's a lot of the street science of Fillmore and San Francisco, and it was, he never claimed to be like a straight gangster or nothing like that. He never, Andre never tried to be nothing. He just is who he is. And one of the things about where he's from, he comes from a strong, family, but he comes from a strong block and neighborhood. And you get to see all kind of things. He saw hip hop, he saw great ballers, basketball, players, and then he saw ballers on the block. And then he saw pimps and he saw gangsters. So he represented that very well. He told a vivid picture. He got a vivid picture of Fillmore, San Francisco as Dre Dog. And it still hasn't stopped with Andre Nickatina, but I worked for Dog Day Records, which was the label that he signed to when he became Andre Nickatina. He had put out Raven in My Eyes. And that's in the intro to that album. He says, one of the intro tracks, he says, the name Dre Dog switching to Andre Nickatina, it's just, out of growth. He said, I don't want to be 30 and 40 and to have people be calling me Dre Dog and stuff like that. So it was just like a preemptive change of his name. And he told me a story about, behind his name. He said, when he was rhyming, he said somebody just said his lyrical style and his flow was like nicotine. He was addicted like nicotine, so it became Andre Nickatina. And that's how he, that's his persona today. So, most importantly, I think, what he did as Dre Dog that I was most impressed with and inspired by. He's like one of the greatest game spitters I've ever met. He's one of the most inspirational players as far as just having a mouthpiece and a brain behind it. Like, he don't just talk. Like, Andre Nickatina is a thinker, you know what I mean? Very brilliant. So, and tenacious too. He's focused, he's like a sniper, you know what I mean? He locks and loads and gets it. That's all I've ever seen from him. That's why I love and respect him. And before I even met him, he was like that clearly because he had signed deals with In a Minute Records, a legendary mid-major independent record label that had other people on it, like RBO Posse. And the difference between Andre and just another musical artist in any genre, especially hip-hop, like Andre owned his material since he was, you know, a young MC. Since he was like, you know, I don't know how old he was, probably like 21 when he signed that record deal. You know, so he was smart through his teenage years, and when he signed his first deal, he made sure he owned his masters. So he owns his first 2 projects within a minute, which is something most rappers like, or young artists who are desperate, struggling, and want some money, they'll be like, yeah, give me 30,000 and you can have this stuff, and I'll just get the sales, 10% of the sales or whatever. Not the case with Andre. Today he owns those first 2, you know, masters, and the benefit of, even if you did, let's say, here's the advantage of signing to one of those companies that have great distribution, is that they can distribute your product wider than you would as an indie, as an independent. So you'll be in a lot of places, which sets up the move for him from Independent Records to Dog Day, or then his independent label. So he's already known by hundreds of thousands of people. And so when he releases his own product, then he has an audience who's ready to buy it, and he can make that money. So either way, he actually owned his stuff from the beginning, owned the rights to it, and then when he went to Dog Day, which was his second label, they did a very good job of pushing his material, because I was part of that team and promoting and marketing their, you know, product from 11.5 with A1 Yola, with the Cool's album, Still This album, Q's Hip Hop Shop, and Andre Nickatina was one of the artists on their roster. They had a very strong catalog in the mid to late 90s, and he was part of it. So that was, I think, the only project he did with Dog Day was Raven in My Eyes, which is like classic. If you don't have that, I mean, it's just like it's a film, audio film. You know, it's a story. And it, the unique production and the lyricism, you can hear like consciousness and like, you know, knowledge being spit, you know, as well as tales, you know, from his brilliant mind. But that's the setup for him to go from Dre Dog to Andre Nickatina. And the risk about it is he was famous as Dre Dog, hood famous, nationally, internationally. But the risk was, you know, he took a big risk by changing his name once he was Dre Dog, because I know he lost fans who were like, you know, they weren't looking for Andre Nickatina, they're looking for the next Dre Dog album. I stumbled upon him as Andre Nickatina because I worked for Dog Day. And I listened, and he was like, yeah, you know, he introduced himself as Andre because he didn't want to be Dre Dog in his 30s and 40s. But I'm sure he lost people who were looking for him, but then he regained an entirely new audience in addition to those who were late locating him and finding him.
So they wanted the old Dre Dog, not the newest.
Some people I'm sure of that. But, you know, no respect is lost. You know, we be rolling on the freeway. Every time he gets on the freeway, people recognize him and throw a produce at him, you know, in the fast lane. So he, you know, even though I think with Dre Dog, his audience was way more, he had more of a black and like minority, so-called minority. People of color was peeping him with Dre Dog when he first came out. And with Andre Nickatina, it just happened, his audience changed a bit. It wasn't bad at all, but I mean, like a lot more white kids were tuning in and checking him out. His audience swelled even more, you know. And then again, people would figure out who he had changed his name, and they would come to his, you know, come to his shows and buy his albums because he's still kicking game like only he can do it. You know, he got a unique voice, and everybody knows that.